I don't think I want to build up much and bore you with an intro. You are here for the juicy stuff. That is, what's up with the Next Monsterverse Movie, aka the Godzilla x Kong sequel. But along with that, I would also tell you what's the animated and TV future of the franchise later on. Now, the Monsterverse continued its epic saga with Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, and promises more colossal action in the forthcoming sequel. After clashing in Godzilla vs. Kong, the two iconic monsters united in 2024 to face a new threat, Scar King. This villain, he came from the bowels of the Hollow Earth and had nearly magical powers that threatened the surface world's very existence. With its high stakes and massive scale, the new empire expanded Legendary Pictures' Monsterverse, which began with 2014's Godzilla. Despite mixed reviews, it achieved significant box office success and was well received by audiences, solidifying the Monsterverse's status as a franchise juggernaut. The American Monsterverse builds on the legacy of Toho's Godzilla series while adding a distinct Hollywood flair, and nobody is complaining, which is a good thing. The franchise has done well to retain the explosive fun of classic kaiju films, delivering grand spectacle. With the new empire's triumph, Legendary wasted no time green-lighting a sequel. Scheduled for release on March 26th, 2027, the next Monsterverse installment will be directed by Grant Sputori, replacing Adam Wingard. While plot details remain undisclosed, anticipation is already high for the next chapter in this series. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to us. It may be a small click for you, but works wonders for us. Let's continue. So, the new empire left several narrative threads open for exploration. The film concluded without a post-credits scene, which was rather new for a Monsterverse film, and of course, that only means that the story has left room for continuation. Kong's arc in particular is something that would be very interesting to watch. He is practically the bridge between the Hollow Earth and the surface world. But you know what? Godzilla is the guy who holds the franchise together. Without him, there would be no Monsterverse, and Legendary should learn this lesson from the older Toho movies. The introduction of Suko, a young ape, offers Kong the family he lost after his species' extinction. Anyway, this dynamic could take center stage in the sequel, potentially expanding on Kong's emotional journey. The idea of a Son of Kong film has been teased, with Suko and Kong teaming up to combat a new Titan threat. The return of Mothra also paves the way for additional monster showdowns. With Toho's extensive roster of kaiju, the American Monsterverse has many opportunities to introduce new characters and escalate the action. The 2027 sequel could even surpass its predecessor in scale, blending emotional storytelling with breathtaking battles. The cast of the new empire included several returning characters from Godzilla vs. Kong. Rebecca Hall's Dr. Eileen Andrews and her adoptive daughter Gia served as the emotional core of the film, alongside Brian Tyree Henry's comic relief as conspiracy theorist Bernie Hayes. While casting for the sequel remains speculative, these characters could easily return to continue their roles in the unfolding saga. The success of the new empire underscores the enduring appeal of Godzilla and Kong, two of cinema's most legendary monsters. Their partnership and shared battles against formidable foes have captured audiences' imaginations. The Monsterverse thrives on this dynamic and does well to have some modern filmmaking while retaining the timeless allure of kaiju lore. With a release date set and new creative leadership in place, the 2027 sequel is already shaping up to be another ambitious entry in the Monsterverse. The journey of Godzilla, Kong, and their allies promises to grow even more thrilling as the franchise continues to expand its universe. But that's not all for the Monsterverse. Season 2 of Monarch is also in the pipeline, among other stuff. In January 2021, Legendary and Netflix announced an animated series, Skull Island, as part of the growing Monsterverse. The series follows a group of shipwrecked humans struggling to survive on an island teeming with giant monsters. Produced in an anime style by Powerhouse Animation Studios, known for Netflix hits like Castlevania, the show brings Kong into a genre previously explored by Godzilla in Netflix's anime trilogy and Godzilla Singular Point. Jacob Robinson and Love and Monsters writer Brian Duffield are the showrunners. Though details have been scarce since its announcement, the series remains in development, and Netflix may surprise audiences with its release. Disney has also joined the fray, with plans for a King Kong-based series on Disney+. This project is expected to revisit the original film's themes and delve into Kong's origins on Skull Island. James Wan, the creative force behind multiple horror franchises and blockbusters like Aquaman, will spearhead the series. While further details remain unknown, the Disney Plus show adds another layer to Kong's enduring cultural legacy. The surge in Kong and Godzilla projects stems from the unique rights surrounding the characters. Toho owns Godzilla and its associated kaiju, continuing to produce Japanese-language films outside the Monsterverse. Toho's last live-action Godzilla film, Shin Godzilla 2016, received acclaim, and the studio has expressed interest in building a broader kaiju universe. Toho licenses Godzilla's American rights to Legendary Pictures, whose Monsterverse films are distributed by Warner Brothers. However, as Legendary is independent of major media conglomerates, it can develop Monsterverse projects for competing platforms like Netflix and Apple TV+. Reports suggest Legendary may switch distributors, potentially complicating future streaming arrangements. King Kong's copyright situation is even more complex. While the original 1933 film remains under copyright, the novelization's copyright lapsed, leading to rulings that King Kong as a character and the original film's storyline are effectively public domain. This legal ambiguity has allowed for diverse adaptations, from Peter Jackson's 2005 remake to the action-driven Monsterverse movies. With studios eager to capitalize on recognizable properties, more Kong and Godzilla adaptations are likely in the future. The Monsterverse's growth reflects the enduring appeal of these iconic creatures. Skull Island and the Apple TV Plus series expand the narrative, offering fresh perspectives while retaining the core thrills of kaiju action. Meanwhile, Disney's project explores Kong's roots, adding another dimension to his story. The mix of original content and adaptations ensures that Godzilla and Kong remain central figures in pop culture, with no signs of slowing down. As new projects emerge, these legendary monsters continue to dominate screens, captivating audiences across generations. Marvelous verdict: Monsterverse needs to balance the scale between Kong and Big G. If the franchise wants to succeed, Godzilla remains indispensable to the Monsterverse, and he is like both a cultural icon and a linchpin of the franchise's success. While Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire achieved significant box office success, surpassing 2014's Godzilla to become the Monsterverse's second highest grossing film, concerns linger about how the next installment will treat the king of the monsters. Historically, the franchise has favored Kong, presenting him as a more empathetic and relatable protagonist. This approach, while understandable, has left Godzilla underutilized in the movies, which, in turn, ended up frustrating fans who expected a more balanced focus between the two titular titans. Adam Wingard's departure from the Monsterverse adds uncertainty to the future direction of the franchise. Wingard had hinted that a sequel to The New Empire would give Godzilla the spotlight, framing it as a Godzilla version of the previous film. This promise raised hopes for a movie where Godzilla would take center stage, exploring his interactions with other titans and expanding his narrative within the Monsterverse's hollow earth. Wingard's exit, however, cast doubt on whether his vision will come to fruition. The underutilization of Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong and the New Empire stems partly from the franchise's inclination to position Kong as the emotional core. Kong's human-like qualities and connection to characters like Gia have made him an easier protagonist for audiences to connect with. Godzilla, as an unstoppable force of nature, often comes across as less emotionally accessible. However, Toho's Godzilla films, particularly during the Heisei era, have demonstrated that emotionally resonant Godzilla stories are not only possible but profoundly impactful. In Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, the storyline humanized Godzilla by portraying him as a desperate parent fighting to rescue his offspring. This narrative, combined with Rodan's sacrifice and the intense battles, made the film both emotionally emotionally powerful and action-packed. Similarly, Godzilla vs. Destoroyah delivered a rollercoaster of emotions, depicting Godzilla's grief over his son's death and his eventual demise. These films showcased the potential for Godzilla to evoke empathy and deliver meaningful stories without sacrificing the scale and spectacle of kaiju battles. Wingard himself highlighted the emotional depth of these classic Godzilla films, suggesting that the Monsterverse could achieve similar results. A Godzilla-focused sequel could capitalize on the franchise's strengths, giving the King of the Monsters a compelling narrative arc, while satisfying fans who have long awaited a movie that fully explores his character. Such a film could delve into Godzilla's role within the Monsterverse's ecosystem, his connection to other titans, and his experiences in the mysterious Hollow Earth. The Monsterverse's reliance on Godzilla is not just a narrative necessity, but also a commercial one. Godzilla is a global icon with decades of history and a dedicated fan base. His presence anchors the franchise, drawing audiences who associate him with epic battles and world-shaking stakes. The success of Godzilla x Kong, the new empire, proved that the Monsterverse could thrive, but it also underscored the importance of leveraging Godzilla's appeal to maintain momentum. While Kong's empathetic portrayal has worked well for the franchise, it is time to balance the scales. A Monsterverse movie that allows Godzilla to shine, both as a powerful kaiju and a character with emotional depth, would enrich the series and strengthen its future. Legendary has learned from past successes and missteps, ensuring that monster fights take precedence over human subplots. With this foundation, a Godzilla-centric sequel has the potential to elevate the Monsterverse to new heights. The future of the Monsterverse depends on its ability to innovate while staying true to its core elements. By giving Godzilla a more prominent role, the franchise can honor his legacy and expand his story in ways that resonate with audiences. Whether through epic battles, poignant moments, or explorations of the Hollow Earth, Godzilla's presence ensures the Monsterverse remains a compelling cinematic experience